Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Lee McFerrin, a member of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund, and it's my pleasure today to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for our 46th Annual Scholarship Reception. Our program today is in honor of Dr. Elizabeth Pierce Stewart, President Emeritus of our Scholarship Board. The program is being televised by Armstrong Cable. Photographed by Honorable Mayor Leroy Stearns and reported by the Meadville Tribune. Music is provided by Joseph Galbo III and Reverend Joel DeAngie. The Martin Luther King duet and the event is being sponsored by Allegheny College. We ask you to please turn off all your cell phones and do your best not to text or anything like that. What better way to get us started this afternoon than to have President James H. Mullen, Jr. of Allegheny College bring the welcome. Dr. Mullen. We are honored.
Thank you. I'm the one who's honored to be here at this very significant event for our city, for our region. I will simply, on behalf of Allegheny College, tell you what a privilege it is for us to host this event and to be a participant in the scholarship activities. I want to say a special word of welcome to our elected officials from the city, our commissioners, our counselors, and also to the members of the Martin Luther King Scholarship Board for the extraordinary work they do. And I would simply say congratulations as well to the remarkable recipients of this scholarship. There's a notion that I never understood very well when I was your age, and I've only come to really understand it as I've gotten a bit older, and that's a notion called generational responsibility. Everyone in this room who works to make these scholarships possible, our elected officials, the members of the board, all of those who are here, your family, all of them had someone in their lives, somewhere along the way, who made a difference for them, who gave back to their community, who gave back to the young people in this community, who saw in them promise and potential. And now, these many years later, they themselves remember that. They've never forgotten those who made a difference in their lives, and they are now giving back to you. So on this very special day, I want to ask you if you would not only be proud of this scholarship and proud of what you've achieved, but also begin to think about that notion of generational responsibility. And a few years from now, when you've enjoyed that success that we know you will, think about who you can help, how you can give back, what difference you can make in the lives of young people. That's generational responsibility, and I'm very honored to be in a room with so many who give it life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mullen. Those words were alluring as well as inspirational, and we hope that you will take them to heart, as well as us being attracted to Allegheny College. We love the College on the Hill, and we do feel at home here today. The college touches so many of our lives, be it students, parents, and the community. Mrs. Dorothy Chapman, member of the Scholarship Board, will ask God's presence upon this reception. Mrs. Chapman.
Let us stand. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, oh God, for this day that has been set aside, oh God. We just ask, oh God, your presence to become in this room, God. We thank you for the recipient today, God. We give you the glory and we give you honor. We thank you for the parents, Father, in the name of Jesus. And we give you all the glory and all the honor because it belongs to you. In your Son Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mrs. Chapman. We are grateful to have special guests with us today who have come out to congratulate our recipients of the 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Awards. I'd like to introduce some of them at this time and apologize if I omit anyone's name. Please stand when I call your name. President James Mullen, Allegheny College. Mr. Christian Mayer, Director of Crawford Heritage Foundation. Mr. Ken Achenbaugh, President of the newly organized Adult High School. Mrs. Tina Achenbaugh. Commissioner John Amato. Mrs. Terry Amato. Mrs. Gina Falk, Senior Counselor at MASH. Mrs. Lois Galbo. Mrs. Janet Hawes, honored guest. Dwayne Banks, Erica Baum, Kayla Baum, Mrs. Dorothy Chapman, Miss Lillian Chapman, Ashley Chess, Kelvin Chess, Tracy Chess, Dr. Ron Cole, Reverend Joel DeAngie, Andrew Mook, Sandy Mook, Lyle Mook, Christy Pendolino, Frankie Pendolino, Nicholas Pendolino, Sam Pendolino, Bridget Ream, Caden Ream, Eva Ream, Kirsten Ream, May, Julius, and Scout Ream, Anthony Santiago, Katie Santiago, Sydney Santiago. At this time, I really apologize if I've forgotten anyone. For some reason, I think this might not have, yes. Okay. Yes. Recipients and your families, please stand. That will include again, Kayla Baum, Andrew Mook, Sydney Santiago, Ashley Chess. And did I forget anyone? Okay, I'm sorry, young lady. What's your name again? Allison Espy. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Okay. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. It is always exhilarating to hear the proclamation from the Honorable Leroy Stearns, setting aside this reception as a very special time in Meadville. Mayor Stearns.
Lee, always a pleasure. Good afternoon. Welcome to Meadville. If you're not a resident or visiting, we appreciate you being here. It's always an honor to read a proclamation. And when I do this, I'd like to introduce some of our council members that are here this evening. Unfortunately, some were not able to make it, and they send their best wishes, and they had other things I had to do, so I apologize. But I would like to introduce Councilman Jim Roa. Jim? When I read the proclamation, it's on behalf of City Council, the city staff, and of course the residents of Meadville. So I always like to point them out because we're a working team. We make Meadville move in different directions. So glad to be here. Proclamation, whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. believed that equal access to all students to pursue quality education, and whereas based on Mrs. Bernice Bradwell initiated, proposed of creating a scholarship, the Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust, that was established in 1972 here in Meadville. And in 1986, a capital fund drive was started to make the scholarship fund here for a very long time. And whereas the scholarship helps fund a portion of the college tuition of several deserving students regardless of race or ethnicity. And whereas over 90% of those receiving the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship has graduated from college and fulfilled Dr. King's hope on equality for education. Now there be, I resolve as affirmed that I, H. Leroy Stearns, Mayor of the City of Meadville, on behalf of all City Council members, city staff, residents of the City of Meadville, commend Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarships Corporation for honoring the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King through its scholarship award program and providing opportunities for students from Meadville to continue the pursuit of high quality education and continue good work embraced by Dr. King. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Stearns. Through the years, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board has worked directly with the fine counselors and students at Meadville Area Senior High School to acquaint them with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship. In fact, we start telling our students about scholarships as early as grade school and middle school. However, there is much to be done to prepare for the application in high school. Mrs. Gina Falk, the senior guidance counselor, will share with you how we work together to identify applicants. Mrs. Falk.
Hello everybody. As you know, I'm really nervous being up here. But I wanted to thank the board and the guidance department. A lot of people don't know what goes behind the scholarship and what's so involved. So I thought I would talk just a brief summary of what it is all involved. First, Dr. Dixon and I have to come up with a date and a plan for her to talk to all the students that qualify. So we have to, at the guidance department, we have to go through every single senior and see if they qualify for the scholarship in the first place. And I'm very fortunate because, and so is the students in front of us, we had 242 students and over half of them qualified. So that says a lot for our school and the senior class. They had to at least maintain a 3.0, so over half of our students or more have gotten to be average so far. So I was pretty impressed with that. And then we have a meeting, and then Dr. Dixon comes and talks to all the students that were qualified. A lot of times students don't want to put that effort in because the packet is quite lengthy, which it should be. But we had a lot of students that did apply this year, and I'm very thankful because it just shows exactly how many students are out there that really, really believe in working and doing hard and just trying to get rewarded for what they've done throughout the years. So after we do that, then I have to give a lot of thanks to our guidance secretaries because they go above and beyond. They make sure all the students have everything they need in that packet, and if they don't have it, they are so kind, they wait, they go talk to the students, they bring the students down, they make sure they have everything so nothing is left behind, so that everybody gets a chance. And the students before you are the students that had some of the best essays. So that's how they got distinguished above the others, is their essays were phenomenal. So that's just a little bit of how it all comes about. It's a lengthy process, but it's so worth it. And I'm very proud of all the students that are here because they definitely earned it. So thank you to the board, to the MLK Scholarship Committee, to the Guidance Department, and all the families that helped out, and the students. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Falk. We appreciate the fine cooperation from your staff and you. Now, we will hear the first selection from our famous musicians, Reverend Joel DeAngie and Mr. Joseph Galbo III. This time I have some sincere apologies to the people that should stand as I call their names. Again, I apologize sincerely. Omitted some names earlier that need to be recognized. Sam Bird, President of the local chapter of the NAACP. Mrs. Janet Hawes, our honored guest. Ms. Tracy Hawes. Mr. Jeffrey Husband. Mrs. Ruby Jenkins Husband, Sickle Cell Anemia Project Director, Erie, Pennsylvania. Professor Ann Jones. Mrs. Lori Soff. Commissioner Christopher Soff. Ms. Victoria Soff, Development Coordinator for the Bethesda Lutheran Services. Reverend Carl Terry, Itinerant Pastor, AME Church. Commissioner Francis Wiederspan. Mrs. Wiederspan. And Justin Adkins, the Associate Dean of the Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, Access, and Social Justice Center, as well as Rebecca Gaizon. Thank you again for all that you do for the community. Today, our program is in honor of Dr. Elizabeth Pierce Stewart, President Emeritus of our board. Dr. Pierce Stewart resides at Aristocare at Park Avenue in Meadville. We invited Mrs. Ruby Jenkins' husband, one of Dr. Pierce Stewart's sisters, to respond to this honor. Her sister on our board, who followed in her footsteps, is Dr. Dixon. Mrs. Jenkins' husband, a pioneer of sickle cell programs since 1969, is the project director of Sickle Cell Anemia Program in Erie, Pennsylvania. Mrs. Jenkins' husband.
Good evening. Good evening. And on behalf of my sister Liz, she is really humbled by this recognition and very proud to be of service to the Meadville community. All of the scholarships and wonderful leadership opportunities you provide for the young people. She continues to be dedicated to the cause. So on this day and this evening, we really appreciate the recognition, and she will continue to be of service to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins' husband. We are proud of the role that Dr. Pierce Stewart played in the creation of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund. We invite each of you to read about her contributions listed in our program. We turn now to our speaker for today. He was born in Meadville, Pennsylvania, and has been teaching 8th grade social studies at the Meadville Area Middle School since 2013. He is also involved in extracurricular activities where he serves as 7th and 8th grade football coach and 7th and 8th grade track and field coach. His education includes a BA in political science from Allegheny College and the MS degree in secondary education from Edinburgh University. Mr. Ream has completed Dr. Don Oswald's anti-bullying training seminar, and he makes significant contributions toward the elimination of bullying in our schools. Our guest speaker, Mr. Shane Ream.
Well, hello. So, I'm very honored to be here today. It was when I was given this opportunity, I was truly amazed. I felt blessed. I couldn't wait to get here today in front of you to talk about my theme here, making an impact. So thank you for the warm reception, and thank you for everyone for allowing me to do this and to present today. I was talking to my friends earlier, said I wasn't nervous, and then you get up here, and here you are, up here about to give this speech. And by the way, you heard a phone go off earlier. It was not my friend back there in the striped shirt, so still I throw that out there for Mike. All right, so my theme is actually making an impact. And as I was thinking about this more and more, I was thinking of how, people who have impacted me in my life, or wanting to make an impact in other people's lives. And then I just got completely philosophical about what is an impact in the first place. And I have to go to the dictionary to try to remember what even an impact is. By the way, you people, it is a strong effect on people or something else. Okay, actually two meanings in the dictionary. It's a verb and a noun. It's complicated after that, but really those are the things that I was thinking about as I was doing this. And before I get started on that issue, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about what's been going on in our society. Parkland back in February, and then Friday afternoon, and I think that, how does that affect us? I was reading a quote from one of the students, and she said, "Our lives will never be the same. We will forever be changed by this." And I'm trying to think about that issue, and I feel terrible and want to give that its proper place here. At the same time, an impact had been made on them, one that would forever keep them, connected through this tragedy. How do I bring that and relate that to what we're saying here today? When we are making an impact with each other. So I'll try to keep all these things in perspective as I make my way through this speech, and I do promise to try to not be long. My wife was telling me I can be a little long-winded when I talk sometimes, so sorry, Bridget, but I will try to be quick up here. So first, I was thinking that I'll give you a statistic to start off with. The first thing that I looked at was how many people do we actually interact with in our lifetimes? And I got into this whole mathematical formula. We talk to, on average, as human beings, you remember pretty much everything after you're 5 years old. And the average life expectancy in the United States is about 79 years old. So if you meet 3 new people in a town like Meadville, for example, every single day, and as I was talking to my wife about this, because this isn't just encounters where we walk by and we say hello to somebody. This is even talking to somebody at a cash register. When you're at the store, you might meet somebody new. And for that few moments, you're going to talk to them and you're going to interact with them. And the super question is, when you leave that conversation, when you end that encounter with that person, are they a better person for it? Whether it's 30 seconds or 3 minutes or 3 years or however long you're interacting with these people, are they a better person for it? And that is making an impact. By the way, if you do the math, it is 365. You have to subtract 79 minus 5. Okay, that gets you 74. You multiply that by 365. You're going to get a number somewhere around 80,000 people that you are going to interact with in your lifetime. Okay? When you are finished with your life and you look back and you've met, on average, 80,000 people, what's the difference? Have you made the world a better place? Okay, so that's really the theme of what we're doing here. Now, we're here today to honor our recipients of this award, and that award is honoring a man who made a tremendous impact on our lives. And so I was thinking about that too. Can I sit up here and I'm going to talk to these students and all of you, and in the back of my mind I'm wondering, can you guys have that same impact on the world? Forget about the 80,000 people that you're going to be introduced to throughout your lifetime, but can you have that kind of impact on the world? And I think you guys know the answer to that is obviously yes, you can. You can be that same impact on the world. But for the majority of people, we don't get that opportunity. We only have our 80,000 people that we meet. So what do we do when we encounter these people to make sure that they're better off after having experienced us? Okay, and that's sort of where we're going to start today. For you students who graduated, I was thinking about this too, or you will be graduating. Such a complicated time. You're reflecting back at the last 12 years of your lives. You've been building your academic legacy. And for what? To take this next step. So the last 12 years of your life has been nothing but a step to get you to where you're going now. And I was looking and reading your biographies. I happen to know most of these students very well because I taught them. Hopefully, you know, they can remember some of the things of history class. Probably not, but it's okay. The 12 years of your life is only the beginning, right? You're coming to the conclusion of your academic career at Meadville. You spent the last 12 years learning and building this tremendous resume that you all have I was reading about, and it's only just the beginning. Okay, so always keep that in mind as you're going to begin your journeys after you leave Meadville High School. So, in making an impact, I think the first thing that you have to consider with these 80,000 people that you're going to encounter is, it's the nervousness coming up here again, I apologize. I have a couple key points I want to tell you about these interactions that you're going to have. The first thing is to make commitments and follow through. So you are making a commitment. What kind of commitment, you might be wondering? There's millions of commitments you can make. The key to that is following through on these commitments. But I'm challenging you here today to make the first commitment that you make is to never stop improving. Okay, this is about yourself. Okay, so how do I make other people better? Well, I start with myself. And I never forget that I need to improve and that nobody's perfect. And I'll always have the opportunity to become a better person. Okay, life is truly about the interactions that you have with each other. I've started to realize this as I've been getting older and thinking, and it really isn't about what you get in life, it's about what you put into life. And that comes down to these interactions that you have with each other. And that's what life is truly all about. So always commit to making yourself better. Because I'm sure my wife can tell you, I'm not perfect and I try. I do try to be a better person and I want to make other people better. So another point to consider is how do I make other people around me better? I have my football coaches here and I'm proud to have them here, like an extension of my family, but I'll always remember the lessons that I was told by them. It's not only about being a great player on the field. I came up through the sports system at Meadville, played football and wrestling and track and field myself. And the things that I remember the most, number one, make the people around you better. Always try to make them better. If you are a good player, you'll do fine. If you're a great player, the people around you will do well too. And that's what, we're not making this about sports, but it's about life. That's what you want to do when you're interacting with these other people. Another lesson, I had a wrestling coach named Richard Lumley a long time ago. And one of the only things, the major thing that I'll never forget that he was talking to me, just like this was yesterday. And he said, nobody is going to remember what you do on a wrestling mat. No one's going to remember what you've done on a football field. The thing that people will remember about you is whether or not you're a good person. And that really stuck with me and it resonated. And you have to look at the things that you're doing in life or the things that you've done, and really all those, things really don't matter. Like the people will remember you, this is for younger people and everybody in general, for being a good person. Okay, and again, making an impact, we're going to strive to make these other people better as well. So I'd like to add one more thing to this today. A lot about making an impact. I'm saying a lot about this. It is a very abstract concept of making an impact. Consider being at the foot of a mountain, and making the impact is the summit of the mountain. The thing that we don't understand, or that gets lost on people, because we look at just the summit of the mountain, we forget to see the mountain. So it doesn't matter how fast or slow you climb up the mountain, it's about the climb. And if you don't take time to consider the climb of the mountain, then you're going to fall off of it. In today's society, myself included, we have so instant gratification on anything that you want. Anything you want, anytime you want it, you get it right away, instantly, except for a few things, right? Job fulfillment, love, things like this, these things that take time, and it's never easy for this. We just can't have them. Building relationships. Okay, this is the climb up the mountain that I was talking about, that we need to really consider if we are going to make an impact on other people. Okay, so try to remember these things. I was thinking of the people who affected me the most in life. I can remember even Mrs. Dixon, and I say that it doesn't matter how fast you get to the top, because I think of a person like Mrs. Dixon, and then I realize again, she's done so much for our community. She's a wonderful person. She's still doing it. Like, she's not to the top of her mountain yet. She's still working hard. She's still trying, and she's still making a difference in people's lives, and still going to continue to make a difference in people's lives. And that's the type of person that you want to be like. You know, it's not about what I've done before. It's what I'm going to do. What am I doing today? Okay, college life is over. You know, it doesn't matter what I've done in my life. It's a matter of what I'm going to do. And that's a lesson for everybody here today, that you can still make that impact on people. For you guys who are graduating high school this year, I challenge you. You change the world. You can. Okay? For you guys who have already been there and are sort of at the other end of things, you still make a difference. And you can still challenge yourself to make an impact on other people's lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne, for those kind words of inspiration in real life. 80,000 imprints that we put upon others that we know or don't know. What impact will you make with a smile, a frown, a turn of your shoulder, snubbing your nose, or welcoming a homeless person to your house to eat? The impact is everlasting. As some of you see me stand here today and make a mistake or do things well, that's what it is. You grow. But there are so many of you that I can say, as our speaker, Mr. Ream, did, been impacted by so many of you. So don't think for one moment you simply saying hello to someone doesn't have an impact. Don't think for one moment that you widen your smile to a child, what impact that will have. It means so much. Another hand for Mr. Shane Ream, our speaker. It is time for our final selection from Reverend DeAngie and Mr. Joseph Galbo III. Don't we love their music? Thank you again for that musical selection. We anxiously await the presentation of scholarships. This year, our scholarship recipients, and as I call your name, you're going to come, as I call your name, sit in the farthest seat on across, okay? Kayla Baum. Ashley Chess. Allison Espy. Andrew Mook. Nicholas Pendolino. Sydney Santiago. Dr. Ron Cole and Ms. Linda Jens will introduce the 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship recipients. Dr. Cole and Ms. Jens, please come forward.
It is my honor and privilege to begin by introducing Kayla Boehm, who is the daughter of Robin Williams. Her weighted GPA at the Meadville Area Senior High School is 4.96. During her high school years, Kayla participated in soccer and track and field. She was a member of the National Honor Society and participated in the Christ Episcopal Youth Group. She was on the honor roll all 4 years, 9th grade through 12th grade. Kayla is described as having excellent management and communication skills. She is hardworking, as may be evidenced by what we've read above. She is diligent and thoughtful. She works after school at the Pampered Palate in Sagertown in Pennsylvania. Kayla has been accepted to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh in the School of Business, where she has received the Keystone Award for $12,000. Let's please acknowledge Kayla and her achievements.
Good afternoon. I would like to first thank the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board members for the ceremony and their generosity. My achievements would not have been made possible without the support of my family and friends. I'd like to take a moment to thank my mother, Robin, my stepfather, Ron, and my sister, Erica. You guys sit. My family has always encouraged me to pursue a career of my choice, and my sister has always been the extra push to remind me to keep striving. The support from my family, whether in school or through sports, sitting through the cold soccer games and track meets, with my sister as my teammate, has given me the strength to continue my career after high school at Duquesne University to major in accounting. Although my plans during the fall were to join the Navy and receive my schooling through the military due to the concern of education costs, my goal is to become a management accountant and work for a firm in Pittsburgh, and the military was just not the right choice for me. After completing my 4 years at Duquesne, I hope to get accepted into their graduate or their co-op program to complete my master's in accountancy and receive my CPA. I chose to enter the field of business because of my interest in the business electives offered by my school. After taking Accounting 1, I broke away from my original career path to become a stockbroker, and as I've continued into Accounting 2, I know I've made the right decision. Bringing the Accounting 2 course back after a few years, even though there's only a class of 7 people, it has helped me secure my path for my career, as I've worked with peers with similar interests. The lessons I've learned throughout my life thus far have driven my academic success and my future goals. I plan to carry this success into the rest of my life, not only to fulfill the purpose of the scholarship, but to build onto the next chapter. I'd like to read a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that I believe expresses the importance of higher education. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. As I plan to attend the School of Higher Education, I'm honored to be standing here today as a recipient of the scholarship, and again to thank the scholarship board members for easing my financial burden. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge my peers who I have had the pleasure to get to know and work with throughout high school, and I wish them the best as they move into the next chapter of their lives. And thank you again for your generosity and for selecting me as the recipient of the scholarship.
It is now my pleasure and privilege to share a few words of our next recipient, Ashley Chess, who's the daughter of Tracy and Kelvin Chess. Her weighted GPA is 5.294. During her high school years, Ashley participated in varsity soccer in 2015 through 17. She was a member of the National Honor Society, and she received these honors. She was the most improved in 2018, Lady Bulldog Award in 2017, and was the JV captain in 2014. Her community service has included serving on a mission trip to York, Pennsylvania in 2013, volunteering at the YMCA Kids Summer Soccer Camp in 2015-16, and providing instructional support for middle school soccer in 2014-15, and participated in the Academy Theater in 2014. She may have already achieved some of the $80,000 80,000 people that Mr. Ream mentioned earlier. Ashley is described as being polite, sincere, and well respected by her peers. She is tenacious and demonstrates alacrity. Ashley has been accepted at Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania, where she has received the President's Excellence Award. She has also received the United Steelworkers Local 1917 Scholarship. With that, I would invite Ashley to the podium.
Good evening. First, I would like everyone to meet my guests, who will stand and remain standing until all are introduced. They are my father, Calvin, and my mother, Tracy. I would like to thank both of my parents for supporting me, not only academically, but with every decision I choose to make and pushing me to become a better person every day. I am very honored to be one of the recipients of the MLK Award. This award not only shows how hard work will be recognized, but it also gives individuals like myself the opportunity to further their education. This award will personally help relieve some of the financial stress that college can bring, and will help me accomplish one of my dreams, which is to graduate Emory University with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I would like to give thanks to this organization that is helping make this dream become a reality, along with increasing my ability to enjoy my time as a fighting Scot. I am very grateful for organizations like this that believe in the next generation and want to see them be successful in their own lives. I would like to congratulate the other recipients of the MLK Award and wish them the best in their future endeavors. Once again, thank you everyone, and best of luck to the rest of the recipients.
Our third scholarship recipient is Allison Espy, the daughter of Dawn and Bill Espy. Her weighted GPA at the Meadville Area Senior High School is 5.680. During high school, Allison participated in a wide range of activities, including peer mentoring, all 4 years, student government in all of her 4 years, junior council in grade 11, Key Club in her 9th year, mock trial, and volleyball, also all 4 years. She was also in Next Gen Bulldog in the Next Gen Bulldog Credit Union from grades 10 through 12. Her community activities, if we can add more to that list, included a mission trip to Honduras, fundraising for the New Beginning Church of God, competitive dancing and ballet productions. She also works at the ice cream shop, and she enjoys babysitting. Allison is described as beloved by her peers. She is hands-on and a bundle of power and great energy. humble, displays exceptional knowledge, and she has excellent communication and leadership skills. Allison has been accepted as a business major at High Point University in High Point, North Carolina, where she has received the Presidential Scholar Award in the amount of $10,000. Please welcome Allison to the podium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Espy, and I'd like to introduce my guest who will remain standing until introduced. My father, William Espy, and my mother, Dawn Marie Espy. I wanted to start out by thanking the MLK Junior Foundation for awarding us with this scholarship and making it so personal with such a gorgeous banquet. And I had written that hoping that it would be very nice, but this has exceeded my expectations. I didn't think it would be anything like that. I want to give my biggest thanks to my parents for encouraging me academically and every other area there is. One area I will elaborate on, the extent of their efforts, is my college search. And to tell you how crazy it has been, I'm not attending High Point University, but we'll get there. They have spent countless hours planning and traveling on college tours that started the summer after my sophomore year up until April 20th of my senior year. And we almost added in May 1st another trip back down to Clemson, South Carolina. So over 10 schools we visited, and they were also spread out all the way down to the Carolinas. So they've done absolutely everything they could so I could see all of my options. And not only were they willing to go anywhere I requested, but they also forced me to go the ones I had zero interest in. So, well, luckily my parents didn't take my excuses not to go to Pitt Accepted Students Day, because I will be attending Pitt University in the fall. I'm extremely grateful for everything you guys do for me, and the effort that you put into my college search has been reciprocated to everything that you do in every aspect of my life. So thanks, Mom and Dad. The struggle I had with choosing my school also was carried over to the struggle of choosing my career. I had the idea of being an optometrist for the past 3 years when I don't like chemistry or biology, but I always thought, I was like, well, maybe it's just my classes, and I always had that idea. But when I went to Pitt Accepted Students Day, they talked about classes about math and talked about the curriculum for the business program, and I realized, I was thinking to myself, the classes that I have enjoyed in high school have been my maths and my next gen credit union, where I get to do all the functions of a bank and everything like that, and accounting I also took. And so it was kind of like an epiphany of like, how could I ever think I should do anything other than business? So I realized at Pitt I can do this and also achieve something else that I love to do, is travel. So they have a major of international business. So they have an option to intern in Australia and all over the country. So that is why I'm choosing Pitt and doing international studies. So a year from now, I hope to be on a Maymester in Madrid, and I have all my locations picked out, and the scholarship money is definitely a bargain with my parents to let me go on all of these study abroad programs. So thank you for that and everything else you guys have done for me. So thank you endlessly to the MLK Junior Foundation.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our next recipient, Andrew Mook. Andrew Mook is the son of Brad and Susan Mook. His weighted GPA is 5.692. During his high school years, Andrew was an honor roll student and captain of the varsity basketball team. Andrew is described as exceptional, kind, bright, dependable, humble, pleasant, loyal, friendly, and trustworthy. He's a great leader, and he's done fundraising to help children in poverty. Andrew has been accepted at University of Mount Union in Alliance, Ohio, where he will major in physics. Drew?
Hey everybody. Everyone said good evening, so I wanted to change it up. But I'd like to first introduce my grandparents, Lyle and Sandy Mook, and thank them for coming. The rest of my family, unfortunately, cannot be here. They're on the other side of the state. My older sister, Ellen, is actually graduating from Wilkes University with honors and for a degree in environmental engineering, so we're really proud of her. And you know, us seniors are going through all of our lasts, we call it, and like last night was our last school dance. We had prom, and I had my last baseball game at home last week, and pretty soon we'll have the last day of school, so it makes us kind of nostalgic, but it makes me realize that I have a lot to thank the community for, because this town, Meadville, and the high school is really where I grew up, and it shaped me into who I am today and gave me all sorts of opportunities, including this one that the Martin Luther King Foundation is going to give me, and I cannot thank them enough for allowing me to go on to college and face bigger challenges, because lots of people tell me a physics major is no walk in the park for sure. But I feel ready for it, and I feel like the high school here has prepared me for it, and the hours I've put in are sufficient, and the support I get from my family, my biggest thanks always goes out to my family, and I'm very proud to accept this award, so thank you guys for being here.
It is my pleasure also to introduce yet another scholarship recipient, Nicholas Pendolino. Nicholas Pendolino is the son of Sam and Christy Pendolino. His weighted GPA is 5.680. During his high school years, Nicholas participated in the Ski Club 2015 to 2018, Cross Country 2018, Track and Field Team 2017 to 2018, Indoor Track Team 2018, the Golf Team 2015 to 2018. He was Senior Council Secretary in 2018, Junior Council 2017, a member of Teams 2015 to 2018. He took part in student government from 2015 to 2017. He was a school board representative in 2018. He was in the National Honor Society from 2017 to 2018. His volunteer work included St. Mary's Church of Columbus Day Dinner 2015-2018, St. Bridget Church Lenten Fish Dinners 2017, and Little Gritters 2017 to 2018. Nicholas has been described as inquisitive, personable, and friendly. He has a positive attitude, and he challenges himself, and he works very well with others. Nicholas has been accepted at Penn State at University Park, Pennsylvania College of Engineering, where he will receive the Rotary Honors RYLA scholarship. He will major in industrial engineering.
Hello. Thank you all for letting me speak tonight. Before I start, I'd like to introduce my guests, who will stand and remain standing until they all introduced. They are Sam Pendolino, my father, Christy Pendolino, my mother, and Frankie Pendolino, my sister. Thank you to all of them. As many of you know, my name is Nick Pendolino. I would like to start out my series of thank yous with the Martin Luther King Jr. Foundation for not only awarding me this generous scholarship, but also for providing this wonderful banquet for all of us to speak at tonight. I would like to thank my parents for helping me through these processes of applying to colleges and scholarships. Finally, I would like to thank my sister, who was the first one to introduce me to the Pennsylvania State University, which will be my new home for the next 4 years. if all goes well. So, fingers crossed. Frankie just recently graduated from PSU in speech pathology. Just last year, I had no clue what I wanted to study in college. If you would have asked me 3 years ago what I wanted to do when I got older, I would have said, be a lawyer. If you would have asked me 6 years ago, I would have said, be a writer on Saturday Night Live. If you would have asked me 12 years ago what I wanted to do for a living, I would have proudly told you I wanted to mow the grass for the rest of my life. I guess you can say I've always been reaching for the stars. Earlier this year, I did an extensive amount of research from what major I wanted to pursue. After many hours, I decided on engineering or business. After discussing with a PSU admissions worker, I decided to explore industrial engineering. I am now proud to say that come fall, I will be pursuing an education at Penn State for industrial engineering. It may not be as fun as writing for SNL, or as exhilarating as arguing a case in front of a judge. It may not be as luxurious as mowing the lawn, but I think it is the right fit for me. I'd like to thank the MLK Foundation for awarding me this scholarship, which will help me pursue my love of math and business. And I'd like to thank them for allowing me to speak tonight. Thank you all.
I would like to introduce our final recipient, last but not least. We have Sydney Santiago, and she's the daughter of Catherine Santiago. Her weighted GPA is 5.320. During her high school years, Sydney participated in marching band as section leader 7 through 12, pep band section leader 7 through 12, all county band 9 through 12, key club 10 through 12, Spanish club in 11, and yearbook club in 12. National Honor Society, 11 and 12. She received the Marching Band Best Senior Role Model Award. She is a community volunteer at the Vietnam Vets Post 52. In addition, she works at Oaks Market. Cindy is described as being highly motivated, possessing a keen analytical eye, and being a critical thinker. She has strong communication skills and sense of character. She is trustworthy and dependable. Sydney has been accepted at Susquehanna University, Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, where she has been awarded the Presidential Scholarship of $29,000 per year for a total of $116,000 over 4 years. She will major in marketing. Sydney?
Good evening. I would like you to meet my guests who will stand and remain standing until they are all introduced. They are Kitty Santiago, my mother, Dwayne Banks, my stepfather, Anthony Santiago, my brother, Eliana and Leah Santiago, my sisters. Throughout our lives, and even over the course of just one day, we are faced with thousands and thousands of choices. For example, we have to make the choice of what do we want to eat for lunch, or do we want to go on a walk, or do we want to hang out with friends? Even small decisions like these aren't always as easy to make. However, by the next day, they're no longer important. On the other hand, we are also expected to make choices that will impact the rest of our lives. In my personal opinion, the hardest of these choices is the question of what do you want to be when you get older. Every family reunion, I've always came up with something different to say. Half because that's truly what I thought I wanted to be for the rest of my life, and half just to get them to stop asking. However, I hadn't really given it too much thought until I attended a camp in the summer called Pennsylvania Free Enterprise Week. This camp helped me reach the conclusion to major in marketing. After this experience, I made the decision that I will be attending Susquehanna University and plan to obtain a bachelor's degree in marketing. Although I am still not 100% sure of the exact career I want after I graduate college, I plan on going into a career involved with travel marketing and advertising. I am beyond grateful to have been chosen as a recipient of this scholarship. I want to give a huge thank you to the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board and everyone involved in this award. Additionally, I also want to thank my family for always being the best support system in my life. Mom, I want to let you know how thankful I am to have you in my life. From the time I began dancing at 5 years old up until now, you have been to every single recital, band show, concert, soccer game, you name it, and have made a numerous amount of sacrifices to do so. I know it can't be easy taking care of 5 children and also giving each of us the love and support we need, but you somehow managed to do it. Although it may not always seem like it, I want you to know that I really do appreciate you and everything you do, and you're by far the most selfless, caring, and strong person in my life. Dwayne, I also want to thank you for the constant love and support you give me and all of my siblings. Although you haven't been there my entire life, you have always treated us as if we were your own. I hope I will still be your pick even when I'm 4 hours away from home. To Elisa, even though you couldn't be here, Anthony, Ellie, and Leah, I want to let you guys know that I love you guys, and even though we don't always get along. It didn't seem like too long ago that I was in elementary and middle school where you guys are. Time really does fly, and I'm definitely going to miss seeing you guys every day. That being said, I am extremely excited to start the next chapter of my life, and I'm very thankful to everyone who has helped me shape me into the person I am today. Thank you.
Can we have another round of applause for the 2018 recipients? Now, recipients, the congratulatory remarks are not all done. There are some very special people who will also be congratulating you. They represent the many people in our beloved community who day in and day out make sure that you have the best environment in which to live and grow. They are, and will congratulate you in this order. Commissioner Francis Witherspoon.
Good evening. And congratulations to our recipients of the 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Award. On behalf of the County Commissioners of Crawford County and the residents of our county, we offer our admiration for this awesome accomplishment. We know it's because of your hard work and determination to do your best in school and serving your community that you were chosen for this scholarship. We thank you for showing all of us that there are wonderful youth in our county, and that as you continue your education and then enter your chosen careers, our county and our world will be in good hands. To the families of the recipients, we thank you for supporting and encourage these young people. You can be proud for playing an important part in helping them earn this MLK scholarship. Our 2018 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship recipients, you are our future. With your help, great and wonderful things will be coming to our world. Thank you for all you have accomplished and will do throughout your lives ahead. Congratulations and God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner. And next will be the Honorable Mayor Leroy Stearns.
On behalf of Meadville City Council and the residents of Meadville, congratulations. When you go home tonight, you get to relax and have a good time, right? To your parents, you're where you're at today because of their support and the community support with you. So I want to congratulate each of you, and on behalf of the city of Meadville, you're going to receive a city official pin. This is very important because a former mayor that I'm looking at designed this, but we liked it so well we wanted to continue with this. So on behalf of City Council and the residents, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And next will be Mrs. Janet Haas, our honoree.
I'm very honored to be here tonight, and I'm very happy for our award winners. And I'd like to do a little bit about the background. I'm not going to bore you to death by doing this, but my husband was Dwight Hawes, and he was a visionary and a very community-minded person. I don't know how many of you knew him. He not only had ideas about improving life in the Meadville community, but also willing to do hands-on work to see that things were accomplished. I was very fortunate to be married to this very special man. We moved here from Dayton, Ohio in 1970. I was reading something the other day, and it said that Armindia moved here early in 1970. Is that right, Armindia? Yes. And one day my husband came home and he said, I met this wonderful lady today. He said, I'd like to have you meet her. She's a visionary like I'm a visionary, he said to me. And I thought, oh. And Armindia, when I did meet her, she's so full of energy and ideas, how to make our community a very special place to live. And in talking to Armindia, I found out that she had a vision for funding more scholarships in the community for the community graduates. And in 1986, the Capital Fund Drive was begun to make the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund perpetual. And an ad hoc committee was organized under the leadership of Elizabeth Pierce Stewart. And my husband, who was director of the United Way at that time, joined Elizabeth, and under their leadership, the scholarship was endowed. Thanks to Armindia and Dwight's vision, the fund is now invested in the Crawford Heritage Foundation. More than, I'm not sure I'm correct on this, but I'm added up and so on, maybe Mindy can tell me, more than 135 scholarships have been awarded since 1969. And because of Armindia and Dwight's leadership, many outstanding graduates from the Meadville area high school will always be assured of scholarships. And every year I look very forward to attending the scholarship reception in May. And I'd like to again say congratulations to the 2018 scholarship award recipients. We are very happy to have 6 seniors from the Meadville High School and their family members with us today. Now, I bought a special card. I'm not real clever at poetry and things like that, but I found a very special graduation card, and it said just what I would like to say to you, those of you that are graduating. As you graduate from high school, life is a journey, and the end of one part is always the beginning of another. Wishing you joy at each path that you take, strength in each choice and decision you make, patience at every new turn and new start, success as you reach for the dreams of your heart. Congratulations and best wishes for a wonderful future, all 6 of you. Thank you.
Thank you again, honoree Mrs. Haas. Mr. and Mrs. John Amato.
Good evening. Terry's going to pass out flag pins to the recipients while I speak. Congratulations, first of all, on earning your respective scholarship awards. I challenge you to take this opportunity to further your education and grow. This is your opportunity to give back to your community and to contribute to its success. And you're going to do that by being role models, by being leaders. And here's the thing about being a leader. You don't have to have a title to be a leader. You just have to do. And many times when you just do, people will follow you. Be a giver, not a taker. Serve in your local organizations and charities. But most importantly, mentor and make a difference in someone's life. Make this your legacy, as it's been Dr. Dixon's legacy, and a number of shining examples in this room who were my former students and athletes. Shane Ream, Joe DeAngie, Lee McFerrin. I saw Billy Lawrence and Blair back there. They're gone now, but those are just some of the kids that understand what it means to give back to the community once they move on. So that's your challenge. God bless you.
Thank you again, Mr. and Mrs. Amato. Next, Ms. Victoria Soff, Development Coordinator for Bethesda Lutheran Services, and Christian Marr, Director of Crawford County Heritage Community Foundation.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Victoria Soff, and I'd like to thank Dr. Dixon for asking me to make some remarks today. I'd like to share congratulations to everyone this afternoon into evening. Congratulations to the Scholarship Committee for another successful year. It's truly one of our favorite events to attend, and I'm honored to be part of the program this year. Congratulations to parents and families, as I know firsthand, our students would not be this far without your love, support, and guidance. And a special congratulations to these students. You put in hard work because that's just who you are, not for recognition, but today we recognize you. On behalf of the Soft family, I welcome you into adulthood in this great community. Continue your involvement in your college lives. Experience college in your own ways. You will have many choices in your life, and I encourage you to choose to continue your great work. But also, I encourage you to choose to do that great work here in your hometown, like so many great people have before you, many even in this room. Stay connected to Meadville during your travels, and we look forward to your return. Thank you again, and congratulations to you all.
Congratulations once again to all of our recipients. I have nothing to give you today because I'm the guy who's going to send checks to all your colleges. So I think that's probably more important, right? Now, I was going to get up here and talk about generational responsibility, and Dr. Mullen started off the evening with discussions about that because my role at the Community Foundation is making sure that the pot of money that funds these scholarships is always going to be there. So in the future, 10, 20, 30, 100 years from now, we will still be awarding scholarships from the Martin Luther King Scholarship Foundation that the people who will take over responsibility for that organization will decide where those monies go. And so it's my responsibility to make sure that there's money there. And so that responsibility then falls to everybody who's going to be watching on Armstrong and also everybody in this room to think about giving back in some way to that scholarship, but also in other ways to things in the community that you care about. And so congratulations to everyone. Think about generational responsibility and the impact that you're going to have on your communities in the future, hopefully here in Meadville, but if you choose somewhere else that's also okay, place to live, please give back there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Victoria and Christian, for those remarks. Thank you, community members, also for your remarks. Now we ask the recipients who are here, we were going to form a congratulatory line. All right, some of the people who spoke earlier, giving thanks to our young people. Please form the line here, all the way back as I call your name. President Mullen. Mayor Stearns. Mrs. Falk. Commissioner Wiederspan. Mr. and Mrs. Amato. Mrs. Hawes. Ms. Soft. Commissioner Soft. Mr. Marr. Mr. Ream. Reverend Carl Terry. Mrs. Ruby Jenkins' husband. The parents and grandparents of recipients. The parents and grandparents of recipients. Board members. And then once all of the individuals are lined up, Mr. Galbo and Dr. Dixon. Once again, let's congratulate our recipients. And Councilman Roa, please join our congratulatory line.
As soon as the line is over, since we forgot the picture, the candidates need to come back up front and take a picture. Want to say that? First after the congratulations, they come up and take a picture.
Okay. The recipients are going to take a picture before you make your way through the line. After the reception, if the recipients and their families would like to take individual photographs of this day, the Honorable Mayor Leroy Stearns can assist you with that.
Wait till they see them.
Again, can we congratulate our recipients? Each year, we're accountable to you, our donors, for the funds in which we are entrusted. Reverend Melissa Burnett will give that report this year, and she will introduce our officers. Reverend Burnett.
Behind you. I'd like to extend another welcome and thank you all for being here tonight. I've been charged to provide the financial report and for the MLK board. And first of all, I'd like to thank the Crawford County Heritage Foundation for maintaining our endowed fund. So it's in good hands. You just met Mr. Christian Mayer. So we're glad that he was able to make it tonight. Now, while there's been a lot of activity with our scholarship endowment fund, we're so grateful that our gains exceeded our losses. So what we need to just let you know today is our bottom line. So we're proud to announce that we have a beginning market value of $169,245.63. Can we give a hand clap for them? And we also like to thank everyone who has contributed, and you'll hear more about giving when Dr. Dixon comes forward. I'll leave that to her. Now it's my honor to introduce our dedicated and hardworking board of directors and our officers of the MLK Scholarship Fund. We just thank each and every one of you for the amazing work you do all year long. So as I call your names, just please stand, and if you can hold your applause to the end, because we want and we want you to stand until the end, because we want everyone to eyeball you guys, because it's a lot of hard work that goes on in these types of events all year long. So we're going to start with our members, Miss Dorothy Chapman, Miss Linda Jens, Mr. Lee McFerrin, Reverend Joel DeAngie. I know I spelled your name wrong. Dr. Courtney Dodge, in her absence, she is the treasurer. I'm standing in her stead tonight. Myself as the secretary, Mr. Joe Galbo III, our vice president. And let me tell you a little bit about our president first off. Our board president, now she didn't ask me to say anything about her, but I just feel compelled to do that. We thank you for providing excellent leadership and guidance. When I think of Dr. Dixon, I think of the word passion. Anybody that knows Dr. Dixon, we know that she's passionate. She's passionate for her work, and most of all, she's passionate to help others reach their fullest potential. So that's why we're here today, because we collectively, all of us, board members, we share that same passion, working together to provide opportunities to our students and their future successes. So we thank Dr. Dixon for being our 5-star, do you hear me? 5-star board president. Can you stand, please? We also have 2 emeritus board members, which we honored Dr. Elizabeth Pierce Stewart tonight. Thank you, Miss Ruby Husbands, for honoring her, and Dr. Denise Johnson, the CEO of Meadville Medical Center.
Thank you again, Reverend Burnett, for your financial report and your kind words. Our program is never complete without saying thank you to those of you who support the Scholarship Fund, to those of you who make sure that the perpetual funds go on and on for our Meadville students. Our president and vice president are teaming today to do this honor, Dr. Dixon and Mr. Galbo.
Mr. Galbo, we have the distinct pleasure of saying thank you this afternoon.
You're right, Dr. Dixon, and I can't help but thinking that when Christian was talking about this organization 100 years ago, I have no doubt that in some way, shape, or form, you will be still guiding it through the spirit and this wonderful presentation. We'd like to begin, again, congratulating our scholarship recipients and thanking them for their outstanding speeches today, and thanking their family and friends for the nurturing, love, and guidance that make a difference in their lives. How about a round of applause for that? We thank you, Mr. Ream, for being our speaker today and challenging the recipients and each of us to make a positive impact wherever we are and whatever it is that we do. And I think that already, as these students start off on this new road that they're heading down at this point, they already embody certain elements that you brought up in your speech, in the remarks that you had for us today, to never stop improving themselves personally. If you hear the activities that they have been part of as part of their academic adventure so far, and what they've done for their community, their love for their families, and recognition of the impact their families had. And we cannot help to stop to think that they've already begun to improve those around them and the world around them. So thank you, Mr. Ream, for those guiding words. And we thank you, Mrs. Folk, who has been a friend of many scholarship organizations in this town for many, many years, and the valuable work that you do, for stressing the warm relationship that we have with Meadville Area Senior High School, a relationship that begins with our mentoring program that we are so proud of, that the impact of the grade school and the Meadville Area Middle School in a more formal way.
You know, Mr. Galbo, I couldn't help but look back in our history today and reflect on how blessed we are, and that thanks to President Mullen and Allegheny College, their sponsorship of this reception is one of the strong footprints they make in our community. And I want to personally thank Dr. Mullen, because he lives what he tells his students. He is an example of giving back. And thank you, Dr. Mullen. Thank you. We are so grateful that Allegheny College supports our children and youth, not just today, but throughout the year. Armstrong Cable has captured our history of honoring outstanding graduates for a number of years. Mr. Tarmany and Armstrong are there for our entire community. We thank them. We thank the Meadville Tribune, our hometown reporter, Mr. Rick Green, the editor, and his fine staff. Dr. Crowley and Mr. Tarmany are with us today. Our media is outstanding.
And you're speaking of history, there are honorees like our board president emeritus, Dr. Elizabeth Pierce Stewart, and Mrs. Janet Haas,
who worked alongside her husband, Mr. Dwight Hawes, to make for the perpetual scholarships referred to earlier that we have forwarded for 46 years. We fast forward. How about a round of applause for them? And fast forward. Each year, our city and county officials are here to show their support for our recipients. There are so many towns and cities where our youth don't know who their county and elected officials are. Thank you, Mayor Stearns, for the proclamation, and Councilmember James Rowe. Mr. Mayor Stearns, how unique it is that you are the photographer here today, and we acknowledge, as he's retired from the outstanding service of the Humane Society, where he helped to build that into one of the best and most recognizable organizations of its kind in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That as he deservedly takes some time off from all of the work that he's done there, and now has become one of the area's best photographies, and he's donating his services today here. We appreciate you capturing the moment for us. Because of you, the recipients will receive prints during their honor night at the Meadville Area Senior High School. We also thank my bosses, Commissioner Francis Wiederspan, Mrs. Wiederspan, Commissioner John Amato, Mrs. Amato, and Commissioner Christopher Soft and Mrs. Soft. We thank you for being, as Dr. Dixon said, a part of this organization, and also the county presence at this day that we honor these students. And we thank another outstanding area leader, Mrs. Ruby Jenkins' husband, for responding to the recognition for President Emeritus, Dr. Elizabeth Stewart. We thank you for the many years you have served as project director of the Sickle Cell Anemia Program. A great deal of your work started right here in Meadville. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Francis Wiederspan, Mayor Leroy Stearns, Mrs. Janet Hawes, Commissioner John Amata and Mrs. Amata, Miss Victoria Soft, Mr. Christian Marr, Commissioner Christopher Soft and Mrs. Soft. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the inspirational congratulations to the recipients. You know, they have memory pieces tonight to take with them. Memory pieces symbolic of our beautiful community. Thank you so much. We're so grateful that Reverend Sarah Roncolata and Stone United Methodist Church so graciously provide a beautiful meeting space for us. It's our home. They're in Washington, D.C. You're Washington, D.C., gee. And we're here, but we thank them so much because we go there every month. Okay. And Reverend Terry, thank you for bringing the benediction tonight. There's nothing more precious than the blessing to go forth and serve. Thank you, Reverend Terry. And we'd like to thank Parkhurst Dining at Allegheny for the attractive and delicious refreshments we enjoyed today. Thank you. You know, thanks to each of you for sharing in this occasion. Thank you so much to the parents and my goodness, the grandparents and the friends who came out to say congratulations to these recipients. More and more, you know, students need our help. The encouraging factor is that more and more of our college graduates are returning to Meadville to work. Amen. Look at our speaker tonight, he's here, and he's teaching. You know, I said that to say this. You know, we need to look at our rate of returns. We need to give these students our support. So I'm reaching out, especially to corporate Meadville, to say, keep sending us the donations because we have students who are waiting to go to college because of our help. Thank you. Personally, Mr. Galbo, I so greatly appreciate serving on the board with you. Dr. Dodge, Reverend Burnett, Mrs. Chapman, Mr. McFerrin, Dr. Cole, Reverend DeAngie, I just love being with you. The board's commitment to our youth is astounding. You unselfishly take on a variety of roles as seen today to bring the reception together, to celebrate our graduates, to say thank you to their parents, and thank you to the community. So thank you, board. Mr. Galbo, we have a tradition of closing with special remarks to our honorees.
Well, that is correct, Dr. Dixon. And I, again, like to say the impact that you've had on our family. And I saw as the family stood up tonight, how many former MASH graduates the parents were and stayed in this community and kept their children here. And we hope that their children will come back and continue to build this community at this point right now. So the board had the pleasure of carefully reviewing your essays and 3 letters of references written on your behalf. And I will say this, the essays had a large part to do with a lot of the students being here. So for all those that are watching out there and looking to do scholarships next year, don't blow the essay off, because it's actually a very important part of things.
You know, Joe, I have to say this. When we brought students from the MLK program to admissions at Allegheny, there was a student panel, and the panelists said, whatever you do, learn how to write.
That is correct.
Because if you come to Allegheny and you don't know how to write, we will teach you how to write. So it gives you it gives you an up there to be able to write.
Well, it does. And Dr. Dixon was a teacher, and actually I didn't have the privilege, my sister Sarah did. But I will tell you this, when I went to IUP, we were light years ahead of most of the other kids with regard to our ability to be able to write. Even kids that were salutatorians and valedictorians in other areas. In the Crawford Central District, we were a lot more adept at being able to communicate. And so from that standpoint, we look for the commonalities among you. Of course, all of you are very strong in academics. You wouldn't be here today if you weren't. But then there was the moral aspect of what it is that you do. You are described as personable and friendly, respectful of all people, having strong communication skills, serving on mission teams, engaging in community service, learning, engaging in church activities, and having a positive attitude. The list goes on and on. We are so proud that you are strong in academics and strong in your love and respect for others by working and serving with them and getting to know others.
Thank you. Recipients, look around you today and always remember that your parents, grandparents, teachers, county and city officials, President Mullen, Crawford Heritage Foundation, your church, community members, and our board of directors all support you in your desire to achieve your goals in life. It is your ability to stay knowledgeable and academically strong, along with service to others, where the dance of life takes place. It is a surprisingly beautiful and energetic life.
Then we invite you to dance. Dance as you mark the milestones in your life. Dance as you trust the knowledge that you obtain.
Dance as you accept the job of a lifetime. Dance as you make each step of service. Dance as you keep on learning and growing. Dance as you come to a place of wholeness, a journey that engages us all. Thank you.
Thank you again to our President, Dr. Dixon, and Vice President, Mr. Galbo. Well, at this time, we must say goodbye until next year. But we know how 365, and don't forget the 1/4 days goes so fast. And I'd like to say something personally. May God give us all strength. Strength to do what is right, strength to do the things that are most difficult to decide. Having said that, I have enjoyed being your Master of Ceremonies. At this time, Reverend Carl Terry from the Meadville Courageous Conversations will bring the benediction. Reverend Terry.
Well, it's all been said. I say to the students who show this, too much is given, much is required. That's somewhere in the Bible. I think it's Luke 12 and 48, just in case you want to look it up. Let's stand. I ask that you remember that these who's who among recipients of the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund, they added 6 more people to the 165 they've already. Ask to touch the person's hand next to you, because we know everybody needs somebody. Touch the person's hand next to you. There you go, there you go. God, we thank you for this day. And we ask you, Lord, to be with us, guide and direct us. Help us throughout our journey. We ask you, Father God, to help us to build a better Meadville, a better community. Help us, O Lord God, to work together, to live together, and to love together. And as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we hope that we remember people by the content of their character. Bless us now and keep us. Shine your face upon us and give us peace. Touch our intelligence, O God. All this we ask in Jesus' name, and for his sake we pray, and all of God's children said amen. 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 That's my part. I'm done.